Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A figurative restraint. Asked for a collar on program trading in the stock market. Take into custody. A band that fits around the neck and is usually folded over. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. The policeman on the beat got credit for the collar. Necklace that fits tightly around a woman's neck. The stitching that forms the rim of a shoe or boot. A band of leather or rope that is placed around an animal's neck as a harness or to identify it. Anything worn or placed about the neck. The thief was forced to wear a heavy wooden collar. A short ring fastened over a rod or shaft to limit, guide, or secure a machine part. Furnish with a collar. Collar the dog. Seize by the neck or collar. Zoology, an encircling band or marking around the neck of any animal. A figurative restraint. Kept a tight leash on his emotions. The cardinal number that is the sum of 1 and 1 and 1. Fasten with a rope. Restraint consisting of a rope, or light chain, used to restrain an animal. Take into custody. Anticipate with dread or anxiety. Get the meaning of something. Take into custody. The state of inactivity following an interruption. The negotiations were in arrest. Cause to stop. Attract and fix. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. Uncomplimentary terms for a policeman. Take into custody. Take by theft. Take into custody. The police nabbed the suspected criminals. Seize suddenly. Tag the base runner to get him out. Hit hard. Take into custody. Complete a pass. Locate exactly. The chemists could not nail the identity of the chromosome. Succeed at easily. She nailed her astrophysics course. Succeed in obtaining a position. He nailed down a spot at Harvard. A former unit of length for cloth equal to 1/16 of a yard. A thin pointed piece of metal that is hammered into materials as a fastener. Attach something somewhere by means of nails. Nail the board onto the wall. Horny plate covering and protecting part of the dorsal surface of the digits. Perceive with the senses quickly, suddenly, or momentarily. Register, perceptual input. Pick up a signal. Take into custody. Take and lift upward. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. Fill with high spirits. Fill with optimism. Gather or collect. They pick up our trash twice a week. Eat by pecking it, like a bird. Gain or regain energy. Improve significantly. Go from bad to good. Buy casually or spontaneously. Get in addition, as an increase. Give a passenger or a hitchhiker a lift. Lift out or reflect from a background. Meet someone for sexual purposes. He always tries to pick up girls in bars. Take up by hand. A band that fits around the neck and is usually folded over. Necklace that fits tightly around a woman's neck. A band around the collar of a garment. Fearful expectation or anticipation. The student looked around the examination room with apprehension. Painful expectation. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. Reach with a blow or hit in a particular spot. Perceive with the senses quickly, suddenly, or momentarily. Ears open to catch every sound. Perceive by hearing. I didn't catch your name. The act of catching an object with the hands. Mays made the catch with his back to the plate. A drawback or difficulty that is not readily evident. It sounds good, but what's the catch? Suffer from the receipt of. She will catch hell for this behavior. See or watch. Take hold of so as to seize or restrain or stop the motion of. Hear, usually without the knowledge of the speakers. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. Did you catch the thief? To hook or entangle. Apprehend and reproduce accurately. The quantity that was caught. The catch was only 10 fish. A restraint that checks the motion of something. Attract and fix. Capture as if by hunting, snaring, or trapping. Detect a blunder or misstep. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. A person regarded as a good matrimonial prospect. Attract. Cause to be enamored. Catch up with and possibly overtake. Grasp with the mind or develop an understanding of. Did you catch that illusion? A break or check in the voice, usually a sign of strong emotion. A cooperative game in which a ball is passed back and forth. He played catch with his son in the backyard. A fastener that fastens or locks a door or window. Anything that is caught, especially if it is worth catching. He shared his catch with the others. Become aware of. Be struck or affected by. Catch fire. Be the catcher. Who is catching? Cause to become accidentally or suddenly caught, ensnared, or entangled. Check oneself during an action. She managed to catch herself before telling her boss what was on her mind. Contract. Did you catch a cold? Delay or hold up. Prevent from proceeding on schedule or as planned. Discover or come upon accidentally, suddenly, or unexpectedly. Catch somebody doing something or in a certain state. Get or regain something necessary, usually quickly or briefly. Catch one's breath. Reach in time. I have to catch a train at 7 o'clock. Spread or be communicated. The fashion did not catch. Start burning. Take in and retain. We have a big barrel to catch the rainwater. Irritate as if by a nip, pinch, or tear. The pain is as if sharp points pinch your back. Make off with belongings of others. Cut the top off. A sudden unforeseen crisis, usually involving danger, that requires immediate action. A slight but appreciable amount. Make ridges into by pinching together. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. A small sharp bite or snip. A squeeze with the fingers. Squeeze tightly between the fingers. He pinched her behind. An injury resulting from getting some body part squeezed. A painful or straitened circumstance. The pinch of the recession. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. Someone who kills by strangling. Necklace that fits tightly around a woman's neck. A high tight collar. An unfortunate person who is unable to perform effectively because of nervous tension or agitation. He could win if he wasn't a choker. A stiff white collar with no opening in the front, a distinctive symbol of the clergy. Necklace that fits tightly around a woman's neck. A collar for a dog. The stitching that forms the rim of a shoe or boot. The state of being physically constrained. Dogs should be kept under restraint. Lack of ornamentation. The room was simply decorated with great restraint. Discipline in personal and social activities. He was a model of polite restraint. A device that retards something's motion. The car did not have proper restraints fitted. A rule or condition that limits freedom. Legal restraints. The act of controlling by restraining someone or something. The unlawful restraint of trade. Take hold of, grab. Take possession of by force, as after an invasion. The invaders seized the land and property of the inhabitants. Take temporary possession of as a security, by legal authority. The FBI seized the drugs. Take hold of, grab. The sales clerk quickly seized the money on the counter. Seize and take control without authority and possibly with force, take as one's right or possession. She seized control of the throne after her husband died. Effect. Fear seized the prisoners. Capture the attention or imagination of. The movie seized my imagination. Hook by a pull on the line. Take or capture by force. The terrorists seized the politicians. A pedal or lever that engages or disengages a rotating shaft and a driving mechanism. He smoothly released the clutch with one foot and stepped on the gas with the other. A collection of things or persons to be handled together. Hold firmly, usually with one's hands. She clutched my arm when she got scared. Take hold of, grab. She clutched her purse. Effect. The act of grasping. A woman's strapless purse that is carried in the hand. A coupling that connects or disconnects driving and driven parts of a driving mechanism. This year's model has an improved clutch. A number of birds hatched at the same time. A tense critical situation. He is a good man in the clutch. An unofficial association of people or groups. A cord-like tissue connecting two larger parts of an anatomical structure. A stripe or stripes of contrasting color. Chromosomes exhibit characteristic bands. A group of musicians playing popular music for dancing. Attach a ring to the foot of, in order to identify. Band the geese to observe their migratory patterns. An adornment consisting of a strip of a contrasting color or material. Jewelry consisting of a circlet of precious metal, often set with jewels, worn on the finger. He noted that she wore a wedding band. A strip of material attached to the leg of a bird to identify it, as in studies of bird migration. A driving belt in machinery. A range of frequencies between two limits. A restraint put around something to hold it together. A thin flat strip of flexible material that is worn around the body or one of the limbs, especially to decorate the body. A thin flat strip or loop of flexible material that goes around or over something else, typically to hold it together or as a decoration. Bind or tie together, as with a band. Instrumentalists not including string players. The act of taking of a person by force. Take possession of by force, as after an invasion. The militia captured the castle. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. The act of forcibly dispossessing an owner of property. Capture as if by hunting, snaring, or trapping. Attract. Cause to be enamored. She captured all the men's hearts. Any process in which an atomic or nuclear system acquires an additional particle. A process whereby a star or planet holds an object in its gravitational field. Bring about the capture of an elementary particle or celestial body and causing it enter a new orbit. This nucleus has captured the slow-moving neutrons. Succeed in representing or expressing something intangible. Capture the essence of spring. The removal of an opponent's piece from the chessboard. A sudden occurrence, or recurrence, of a disease. He suffered an epileptic seizure. The act of taking of a person by force. The act of forcibly dispossessing an owner of property. The taking possession of something by legal process. The act of forcibly dispossessing an owner of property. Jewelry consisting of a cord or chain, often bearing gems, worn about the neck as an ornament, especially by women. The top edge of a vessel or other container. A projection used for strength or for attaching to another object. Basketball. The hoop from which the net is suspended. The ball hit the rim and bounced off. Furnish with a rim. Rim a hat. Roll around the rim of. The ball rimmed the basket. Run around the rim of. Sugar rimmed the dessert plate. The outer part of a wheel to which the tire is attached. The shape of a raised edge of a more or less circular object. The top edge of a vessel or other container. A circular projection that sticks outward from the crown of a hat. Be completely full. His eyes brimmed with tears. Fill as much as possible. Brim a cup to good fellowship. The top edge of a vessel or other container. An impudent or insolent rejoinder. Botany. Either of the two parts of a bilabiate corolla or calyx. Either of two fleshy folds of tissue that surround the mouth and play a role in speaking. Either the outer margin or the inner margin of the aperture of a gastropod's shell. An article of apparel worn about the neck. The sound of a bell ringing. The distinctive ring of the church bell. Ring or echo with sound. Extend on all sides of simultaneously, encircle. Make bells ring, often for the purposes of musical edification. My uncle rings every Sunday at the local church. A toroidal shape. A ring of ships in the harbor. Chemistry. A chain of atoms in a molecule that forms a closed loop. Attach a ring to the foot of, in order to identify. Ring birds. An association of criminals. A rigid circular band of metal or wood or other material used for holding or fastening or hanging or pulling. Sound loudly and sonorously. Get or try to get into communication with someone by telephone. Jewelry consisting of a circlet of precious metal, often set with jewels, worn on the finger. She had rings on every finger. A strip of material attached to the leg of a bird to identify it, as in studies of bird migration. A characteristic sound. It has the ring of sincerity. A platform usually marked off by ropes in which contestants box or wrestle. Horizontal circular metal hoop supporting a net through which players try to throw the basketball. A rigid circular band of metal or wood or other material used for holding or fastening or hanging or pulling. There was still a rusty iron hoop for tying a horse. A small arch used as croquet equipment. A light curved skeleton to spread out a skirt. Bind or fasten with a hoop. Hoop vats.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.